Welcome back to Fuzzpatch RC, racing again at the Coquitlam Area Model Racing Club in Coquitlam, BC. In the Coquitlam Classic, we're racing in the Sportsman class of the eBuggy, and this is the A2 main. We already posted the A1 main, for the same race, we're racing our eBuggy, same car as before, the associated B4.1E with a Hobbywing XR8 Pro G3 and a 2200 kV motor, along with a S25 PowerHD Servo and a couple of Gens Ace 6000 milliamp 130C batteries, and of course our good old faithful FlySky Noble radio. Let's see how we do against the rest of this pack. I'll give you some more details at the end of this race. There's a few people in this race I would like to point out at the end of the race.
Yeah, driver's ready, Mercer's ready on the tone. That was self-inflicted. That's a start.
Yeah, bye-bye. Oh, come on.
Alright drivers, a minute and 20 in, the order's going to be Robert, Chuck, Buzz, Jake, Ian, James, Kyle, Mike, and Hayden. James, you got the fastest lap right now at the 34 flat.
I'm waiting for you.
Plenty of race left, drivers. Don't get stressed out. Easy, Hayden. You got this. Caution on the straightaway, caution on the straightaway. We got Hayden on a pipe here. Robert McGinnis back to showing dominance with a 32-second lap. Kyle sending it over that one. Minutes in, the order's going to be Robert, Chuck, Jake, Buzz, James, Ian, Mike, Kyle, and Hayden. Hayden, you're doing a great job. Two close battles on track, one between Jake and Chuck for that number 2 spot, and one between Ian and Mike for that number 5 spot. 4 in, 6 to go. Order still going to be Robert in the number 1 spot, followed by Jake, Chuck, Buzz, James, Mike, Ian, Kyle, and Hayden. And just as I say that, Jake and Chuck pass Robert now. Jake, you're in the lead. Close battle between 1, 2, and 3 here. James gets it wrong coming down the straight. Caution after the table, caution after the table. That's clear. Halfway in, 5 to go. Robert now getting back up to that number 1 spot. Close battle still between him and Chuck though. Ah, okay. And yes, Chuck, I am watching the computer. Now here you go, Chuck. Now you're back up into that number 1 spot. But right behind you is now Robert and Jake. Four minutes left.
Ah, go away, Fly.
Seven in, 3 to go. The order's going to be Jake, Robert, 3 minutes, Buzz, James, Mike, Ian, Kyle, and Hayden.
Yeah, my brain's fading. I can't drive anymore.
Mike Myers is back in 6th. Jake, we need you to hold on to that number 1 spot. This could get interesting. Caution before the table, caution before the table, caution before the table. That is clear.
I gotta remember to blink once in a while. I can't drive anymore.
Caution after the double sweeper, caution after the double sweeper. Clear. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes remaining. The order's going to be Jake, Robert, Chuck, Buzz, James, Mike, Ian, Kyle, and Hayden. This is getting very interesting between Chuck and Robert now. Forgot to mention new fastest lap set by Chuck here, a 30.2. Keep it up, Chuck.
I know, you're caught up to me. I can't drive anymore.
You could.
What the hell did I hit? Oh, it's Hayden. He snuck underneath me.
Reminder to the Nitro guys, silent check-in, silent check-in. Now it's getting very close between Robert and Chuck.
I can't drive anymore. Everything's going all over the place.
Minute remaining. The order's going to be Jake, Robert, Chuck, James. 1 minute left. Mike, Ian, Kyle, and Hayden. Now Chuck is cracking jokes up on the driver's stand to throw off Robert. Let's see what happens. Caution before the table, caution before the table, caution before the table.
I can't drive anymore.
It's clear.
Oops, sorry.
20 seconds remaining, the computer will call you done.
Oh,
No, Jake Roberts back up in this one. Don't let him walk away with it. You can't let him win twice. Go Chuck, go Chuck, go Chuck.
Oh, we got one more lap for him.
Less than 10 seconds. Catch Robert, here we go.
James Halo done. Fuzz done.
Oh, James, you just got
Jake
caught.
Catling done. Kyle Hearn done. Robert McInnes done.
Oh no! Close one, Chuck. Good job, though, Robert.
Kingston Nicolan done.
Waiting on Mike and Ian. Mike and Ian.
My Smirking Revenge done.
Good race, boys.
And that's Ian.
Well, that was the A2 main. I got 4th place. That's pretty good for me. Mind you, it's because Jake, I think in the last lap or so, he got thermaled. I think his motor or his speed control probably shut down for 10 or 15 seconds or 30 seconds, and they pulled him off. He was in the other blue car, and he managed to get back on the track right behind me as I was going past. So he finished he crossed the finish line right behind me, really close. I should have gotten 5th, but oh well, that's what happens, Jake. Anyways, I had another thing going on there because Robert McInnes, he won that one, so he won the first one, A1, and he also won this one here, so he doesn't have to run the third one. However, he's going to run the third one just because, you know what? We're sportsmen for a reason. We're out there to have fun. And Chuck, he was catching up to him. I think Chuck was probably in the lead for a little bit. No, maybe not. Jake and Chuck were having a great battle until Jake wasn't anymore. Poor Jake. The other person was in the orange car that passed me with a black wing, orange on the back and then a yellow tip. That was my other car. That's my son's car, who's not currently racing. I'm going to get him to race probably next year. But this year he wasn't currently racing, so I had James, who's typically an on-road racer. He came to race in off-road in his four-wheel drive, and I lent him that car. And he had a great time. I told him, if you're out there driving this car, I want you to make sure you get it fixed up because it's not quite working properly, which he did. And I told him, by the end of the day, I want you beating me, which he did. But he caught up to me. My brain was fading about halfway through the race, and I just couldn't concentrate anymore. I don't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't blink. There was a fly buzzing around my head. More excuses. But I just couldn't control my hands anymore. I was like weaving all over the place sometimes. So I was driving a little bit slower even than normal just because I couldn't control my car. I think I managed to get it together in a couple spots and hit the the throttle, and got going again. But I managed to get across it in 16:10:01, just a second from making it for 17. Mind you, James made it across with, 0.01 seconds away from making his 17 laps. Way to go, James. Almost made it. And way to go, Robert, for the double point win. He's another person I typically pit with. He's a great guy. Chuck normally was running the races, but for this one here, he was in this one, so he couldn't run the races for the whole weekend. He ran all the other races, as in he was the race director for the whole race, except for this one race that I was in with him. So we had to get young Connor to go out there, and he RD'd. So young Connor, thank you for doing that. When it came to marshalling after this race, we had a nitro race after this one, which is I think it was a half-hour race or something like that. And he was helping pit somebody on that one, but his dad also races, and I normally pit with the two of them. And Chris had to go out there and marshal for me after this race, and I said, okay, after 10 minutes I'll shift off for you because, 10 or 15 minutes. But his dad kept putting his hand up and stopping me from going out and swapping with him. So Chris, thank you very much. He refused to let me go out there and marshal because it was getting kind of hot by that point in the day, and he knew that I wasn't really out there and able to do it. I was starting to fade after this one race, let alone going out there to actually race this particular, or run the next race and run around in it and flip the cars. The nitros are heavier, hotter, smellier, dustier, faster. Well, not necessarily faster, but they're basically controlling out there, and you can't tell what's going on. They're so noisy and everything else. I'm not a big nitro fan, but you know, they're great to watch. I just don't want to get involved with them. Anyways, that was it for this race. I managed to pull off a 4th place. So the first race I think I got a 5th, and this race here I got a 4th. Let's find out what I do in the next race. Thanks for watching.